A community dedicated to everyone.
Hello, hello. I'm here with my boy True Tech, Chris. A lot of people know him as both. I think that's kind of what happens when you're in the FGC. Uh, it's funny because I try to think about how many people I actually call by like their gaming handle versus their government name. Um, and it's 50-50, I think. Some like I got a couple of friends where I'm like, bro, that doesn't even sound right when I use your actual name.
I'm like that too, because I think about it, because I'm like, I mean, but we met in school, so that counts. But like John, technically he
Yep.
wasn't in, like, I knew him as KLT's little brother. Did I call KLT KLT? If I reference him, I call him KLT, but I think I call him Mike to his face. But
Yep.
I do call Skills. I don't call him Mike. I call him Skills.
Yep.
But I knew KLT first. Like, if you were real friends, I think I use your real name, and then everyone else I tend to use their I use their handle. Like, I don't call
Yep.
I don't think I've ever called Fox Gary.
Right. Well, like first person that comes to mind is Kano.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I don't think I've ever called him Daryl.
Yeah, I don't think
Not
I ever have.
once
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, I don't think I call him their holy Kano. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Kano, bro. So, all right, let's start off with intros. I figure we can kind of discuss name, what you like to do, even outside of FGC. Maybe what games do you focus on? We'll kind of start with that.
Okay, so yep, I said Chris True Tech. You might catch me on the internet as Witch Homie Quan in the anime games. I've been, as of this year, been playing fighting games competitively for 20 years. I tend to focus on, honestly, with ADHD, it kind of depends on whichever game came out the most recent.
Yeah.
Uh, but when is always going to be either a Street Fighter or anime game is usually going to be my main game. Right now, I'm focusing on Grand Blue and Street Fighter 6. I am learning Tekken for the first time, like for real, or I'm actually like playing a bunch. I'm studying matches, that kind of thing, which I've never done in the past. I've kind of tried, but it hasn't worked out. But yeah, outside of fighting games, I do photography, try to learn a little videography, a little graphic design, and listening to music and hanging out with my lady. That's kind of like my whole thing. We
Yeah.
homebodies. We be watching cartoons. She falls asleep on the couch. I'm like, it's late enough. Might throw in some games. That's kind of how life is these days.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. I think it's something that you have to definitely learn going back to your photography and video and design because I just being a designer myself, I feel like that's something that's in the industry that I feel like you have to do everything.
Yeah,
You
kind
know.
of. I tried to, like, as you know, like, so brief history of how me and Duran met for people who may know Duran. Like, if you're Moon, you may know him and you know me through him. Is we met literally in Illustrator class in school. Shout out to Pikes Peak Community College.
Yeah.
And I was watching third strike matches in the back of class between or the break or whatever, and he came up. It was like, oh hey, you play fighting games? I was like, yeah. And I was working at Play and Trade at the time. He came down, and then I corrupted him for the rest of his life. So
Yeah.
that's how it worked there.
Nah,
So,
Chris is being extremely modest. Basically, we had intros in Illustrator, and he stood up and he was like, "I'm going to Evo," and it was like mind blown. I was like, I need to be friends with this dude, like whatever it takes, because I think that kind of segues into myself. I'm Duran, Doctor Digital. A lot of you people know me by. Um, Kind of explaining the name because people are always like, bro, how? So my name is Duran Reese, so DR, so Doctor. Everything I do in my life is like digital, whether it's I'm a graphic designer professionally, I do freelance, I work, you know, for companies as well, internal stuff. I've done some external work as well. Play video games, so everything I do is very digitalized based. So it was just kind of that was one of the weird things that I struggled with when I first started with was coming up with a handle.
Pro One was
Uh,
the one that stuck for a while.
yeah, yeah, it was Pro One because like it was so stupid. It was like, oh, I was Pro One because I was the one and only Pro, and then it turned into Malice the God. Everybody that knows me knows me. I'm a huge Clips fan, so Malice, and then like I used to talk a lot of shit just to have fun and. It was never any like actual hate behind it. So Malice the God happened, and then finally Dr. Digital is what kind of came around and it stuck. I feel like it fits me very well. And funny story, I get so many random like compliments on that handle. For whatever reason, like I was at Evo in my pools, and the judge is like, "Dude, I love your name." I'm like, "Thanks, man." So it just kind of it worked out well.
uh,
So you said you're dabbling in Tekken, and I know previously used to be a Lily main, right?
yeah, I played Lily in six when I was trying to learn a little bit there. Honestly, because she reminded me of Karen, and this was before five came out, so there was no
Yeah,
Karen. So it was just that I was like, oh, she reminds me of Karen, so I picked her a little bit. I learned like literally like a couple combos. I had like a couple B&Bs. I didn't really understand how the game worked. I've in this past week I realized, oh, I didn't know how blocking worked in Tekken, like with highs, mids, and lows. I didn't even know you can't block a mid low. Like I'm used to
yeah.
Street Fighter. Mids
It's the
means
opposite. Yeah.
blots however you want.
Yeah, I don't remember who told me that, but that was like one of the first things I learned with Tekken, where it was like, it was Street Fighter but opposite. Because
Yeah,
Street Fighter, you're always looking for the low, so you
exactly.
do a lot of crouch blocking, and like
Hmm.
if you're getting hit with an overhead, usually not a full combo's coming off of it unless it's a jump in or something similar to that. And then
Hmm.
Tekken's the opposite, where you stand block more than you low block.
Yeah, and it's so weird to me because I will be snatched ankles, and I'm like, okay, now you're gonna block. No, okay. Now you're gonna. Oh no. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like it is definitely the opposite for me to like pick up this game and like I said, I don't know anything about Tekken. And part of it was like Tekken, unlike Street Fighter, is like you're building off of each game's previous knowledge. Whereas Street Fighter, you could come into Street Fighter 6 never playing Street Fighter 5, but if let's say you played fighting games before, you could let's say you played Street Fighter 4, you could skip Street Fighter 5 entirely, come into Street Fighter 6, and if you were good in Street Fighter 4, with some time, you're gonna be good in Street Fighter 6 once you figure out the system and everything. Versus Tekken, if you've never played Tekken, you're not coming into Tekken 8 and being like, I'm gonna win a tournament 3 months from now. It ain't
right.
happening, bro. Whereas
Yeah,
Street Fighter
yeah,
6, if you've never played Street Fighter 6, but you have fighting game knowledge, you could come into Street Fighter 6, be a good player, and in 3, 4 months you might win you a tournament because Street Fighters, they're all so they're fundamentals, but
yeah,
there is very different system mechanics, everything compared to 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whereas Tekken 3, Tekken 6, Tekken 3 to Tekken 8, like you're gonna learn how to use supers and heat and stuff.
yeah,
And well, everything else is the same. Like, bro, I'm watching Anakin play Reina. He's playing her for fun, by the way. He's like, I'm not playing her in tournament.
yeah.
He's a Jack main.
Jack player.
I
Yeah,
haven't I've seen him play Jack like twice the entire time. He's like, yeah, I'm not playing Reina in tournament at all. Just for fun. She's a cool character, blah blah blah. And then he'll just go pick up another character who's never played. The game's only been out for 2 weeks. He'll pick a character he's not played at all in this version of the game, low learner B and just start beating high ranked players because the knowledge carries over so
yeah,
crazy. And I was like, yeah, that's real different for me compared to playing Street Fighter. Blaze Blue's a little bit like that, but playing Street Fighter as like my introduction and more or less my main game, it's a lot to pick up. And I had to look at myself. Literally, it was talk to myself in the mirror yesterday, like, okay, yeah, it's a new game. Yeah, you're focused on it, but you want to stay good in these other games. You want to win tournaments in these other games. So you got to figure out your schedule, figure out how to practice and everything. Because, of course, the new game that has so much to learn appeals to me because I'm like, oh, I can
yeah,
learn something new every single day. Whereas Street Fighter 6 is going to be, okay, I got to figure out Kin's annoying. I gotta, find out this little thing. What's one little thing about Ken to make this match better
yeah,
versus
yeah,
me? I can learn a whole new bread and butter tomorrow.
yeah, yeah. And you've always been like that. You're very quick to pick up new games,
Hmm.
not in the sense of like, oh, I picked up this new game to play, but in the sense of like, yo, I am playing this new game. I'm picking up, the game pretty fast. And I'm kind of the opposite. I'm a very slow burn kind of, the stove is hot. I got to figure that out myself kind of player. So how do you feel like your knowledge and learning in Tekken 8 compares to previous Tekkens?
So I'll tell you, especially I've technically attempted to play Tekken since Tekken 5. Um, Back in Tekken 5 days, there was a cabinet at Chapel Hills Mall. People would show up there, and kind of back in the day, you kind of had to play whatever when people were playing, because if people weren't
Hmm.
playing your game, there was no online. GGPO was the closest, and that didn't come out till like '06, '07. So
Yeah,
GGPO was kind of the closest to where like, okay, I want to play. And even then, that wasn't. It's not like now where Fightcade with the lobbies and everything is real simple. You kind of have
yeah,
to know what you were doing back then. So in person, if they weren't playing Third Strike, then you gotta, then you kind of were chill. So Tekken 5 was the game to play. They had a cabinet at Chapel Hills Mall. I attempted to kind of learn, never stuck with it. Tekken 6 came out, never stuck. Learned like to two B and Bs or whatever. Just stuck with it. Tekken 7 came out. Kazumi had a tiger. She threw tigers at you. She literally had a tiger uppercut. So I was like, you know what, that looks hilarious. Let me just let her. I entered like one tournament. Didn't go 0 and 2, but so I was happy there. But outside of
yeah.
that, I've never put real time into Tekken. Never sat down and really watched a bunch. Like I would watch a few matches, and thankfully, Arslan Ash played Kazumi in the beginning, so I was like, oh well, the best player plays there. I can kind of watch him, and that was the most I did. I never studied, didn't go look up Tekken Zaibatsu wikis at the time, didn't learn what side steps really did. Learned a little bit of movement because I was always heard about Korean backdashes, but that was it. I never really deep dive into the game, didn't ask advice, things like that. Whereas Street Fighter, I will of course binge watch matches, of course understand a little bit better. Hi Tuesday, thank you for ruining my shot. I will. So with Street Fighter, like I'll go watch matches. I mean, I'll talk to people, I'll talk to other players, and like I'm in a Kimberly Discord. That's like literally when I open up Discord, there are two Discords at the top of my Discord that are not in folders. It's that Kimberly Discord and Old Band Discord that we have, the Colorado guys that we're all in. Those are like the two top ones. They're not in folders. The rest of them
Mhm.
are like I have a community folder, I have a game folder, stuff like that.
Yeah,
But those two I visit constantly because I'm always talking to other Kimberly players and stuff like that. Where and Tekken is just there's so much, so I'm not even trying to. I'm just kind of like I'm picking one thing a day. But this is the first time putting real effort into it, and it's. I also had to tell myself, hey, you're not gonna win for a while,
yeah,
and that's kind of tough to tell myself at year 20 to be like, I'm not gonna win. And I originally I was like for years, like I'm not gonna like, and I'm not thinking like tournament. I'm like do okay to tournament. I think that's gonna take me a good 3 to 5 months to even
yeah.
do okay in a tournament. Not
Just to
even like,
not be 0 and 2 and
yeah. I think I
in
could not.
Colorado, because
Yeah,
Colorado is a
yeah.
very
I
Tekken
could
state.
go not 0 and 2 depending on luck of the bracket right now,
Yeah,
but to be like guarantee I'm not gonna go 0 and 2 regardless of what happens in bracket. That's gonna take maybe 3 to 5 months for me. I think I've been playing like I have been playing a lot, and I can definitely see the improvement. But to go from, I mean, how is Peter not gonna catch a stray on this podcast? To go from we're gonna play Street Fighter or Grand Blue, and if he gets double digit wins against me, he did a good job.
hmm,
To Tekken when we play, I last time we played the other day, I had 4 wins. And me and Peter when we play for like a good couple hours at least.
right.
That entire time, the last time we played, I had 4 wins the entire session in Tekken. So like to go from
So
when
does
we
Peter have Tekken background? I know he plays like Street Fighter
I
and
think he just kind of has like he's always played the games, and like so he has some knowledge to it, whereas I'm coming in fresh and I
yeah,
don't know nothing. I don't know anything. I don't know about like block street. Like it's so weird to be like, okay, I'm going from block this move, it's negative. Now it's my turn. It's unsafe to block this move is negative. It doesn't necessarily matter because you can sidestep and sidestep is still your
yeah,
turn,
yeah.
or you don't like it's not negative, but you need to duck this high and then punish this. But I'm like, well, I gotta see this high, or you gotta see this wind up and know that's a low versus a high. Like that kind of stuff is so different compared to Street
Very
Fighter and
intricate.
everything, and that's what's and I'm not gonna say it's not necessarily frustrating because I kind of knew what I was going at. Previously, it would say frustrating. That's what I was saying. Previous games, it was definitely frustrating for me, but I kind of went in eyes open this time, knowing that this is not, this is fresh for me. But when you have like a lot of resources, Reina's a cool character, and one of the best Tekken players in the country is like been kind of focusing on her, even if it's just for fun. Like there's so much that I've picked up, just picking it up
Oh
here.
yeah,
And
for
also, I'd
sure.
say what's funny, 20 years in, like I feel way more mentally strong than I did, and like my past where I've like thought I was decent at games, and now I'm like, now it's trash.
Yeah,
And just mindset wise, like even though my execution's not there for other games anymore, I feel like if I were to practice them, I'd be way better now than what I was then. So it kind of just worked out the way it was supposed to work out.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think that just comes with age though too. You kind of play a little bit different because you may not have the reactions that you had when you were younger, or
Yeah.
like I play Panglocks and I just see him react to stuff, and I'm like, bruh, if I could be 14 again,
For real. Like
because you
I'll
just do that shit when you get older.
And that's funny. That's like the reason I beat him when we played, and we haven't played in a while. So actually, it might be next time we play, it might just be a murder from him on his side now. But when we were playing a bunch, the reason I would beat him is because I would exploit his reactions
Yeah,
because he's so solid, and because he's so young and he reacts to everything. He will just down back and then
yeah,
react to everything. So I would literally use his reactions against him and be like, okay, well, since you're reacting to everything, you're gonna bite on this because you see it and you're gonna react, and then that's literally the reason I would like I don't think he didn't have a tournament win on me, and that's the reason because I can exploit his reactions because
yeah,
he is so
yeah,
young. Outside of that, once he figures that out, it's gonna be rough.
yeah. Yeah, and I think that just comes with playing and knowledge, like you said, as you get older and you kind of figure things out and what works and doesn't work. And a lot of my gameplay, like I've never been the best execution person or reaction player or anything like that. A lot of my gameplay is um, mental game reaction kind of stuff, where I'm more a conditioned player, where I'm conditioning my opponent to kind of do what I expect them to do, and then kind of punishing them for that. So it's kind of cool to see it that way. And just kind of going back to Tekken, this is the first I haven't played Tekken ever. I've always been like dabbled in it. I loved. I am a person that like I love FGC games. I primarily play Street Fighter. I play Marvel as well. I was definitely a Capcom kid growing up,
Yeah,
so I think that's kind of part
100%.
of it. But like there's characters that I love in games that I don't even play. Like I love, a lot of Mortal Kombat characters. I love a lot of, Tekken characters. I just don't play the game. And it's
Yeah.
more so I don't feel like I'm to the level I want to be in Street Fighter yet. So it's
hmm
like I don't feel like I could put that time into,
I
other
understand for
games.
sure, and that's how I felt. Kind of how it took me for Grand Blue, like playing Grand Blue and then going back to Street Fighter 6. I was like, I don't want to feel like I felt like I had to. One, I was feeling real salty at one point where I was like I was not getting where I want or I thought I was gonna be at a certain level already, and then that took me. I had to kind of go through that and be like, hey, this is what it is. I basically told myself I set myself the goal, get to this point, and then make a decision. And then once I got to that point, I was like, no, I can do this, and I had to get. I was like, okay, I can get master in Grand Blue, and then I was like, okay, now I can kind of go back and forth. I'll
Yeah,
play some Grand Blue. I kind of want to focus on Grand Blue because I was having a lot of fun with it, and kind of waiting on Street Fighter 6 changes and things of that nature. Wasn't really like the only tournament I plan to go to right now is Winter Showdown. Uh, so I wasn't like
that's March or this month.
March, yeah, next month.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I want to make sure. And then Tekken 8, I'm not gonna play Tekken 8 in tournament, so that also helps me be
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm playing Tekken 8 because everyone's playing it, and I know I can get matches right now. But what it then after then I'll do like hour or two of Grand Blue, and then next night same thing, Tekken 8, get some matches in because I know I can get matches in, and then hour or two of Street Fighter, and that's kind of been how I've been playing recently to kind of do everything. But Tekken, it's just so easy to be like, all right, here's a whole 4 hour stream from Anakin just playing Reina
Yeah.
and talking to people and answering questions. And then Street Fighter, I'm like, I'm watching Shine, and I'm of course I'm picking up some things, but I'm like
It's very intricate things,
yeah, I'm
very
like
minute.
it's like, oh, he did this in this matchup versus, oh, he did this whole combo. I can learn this combo right now and go pick it up. I can
Yeah,
go, he said I should learn this. I should move like this. I can go do that right now, and it's new to me versus Street Fighter was like, oh yeah, he uses this as a matchup. Yeah, that's good to know. I note that, something that kind of thing. So yeah, just the discovery is so different. So and me being me and kind of learning more about myself in recent years with ADHD and everything like that. I understand that I have to mentally, like, I have to make it a priority to play these other games because otherwise I will just not for a while, and then when I come back I'll be bad, and I'm gonna get upset that I'm bad, and then
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm just gonna go play Tekken. I'll just go
Bro,
get
that's
good at
me every
Tekken.
week. When we do our community nights on Thursdays, Hub 23, anybody wants to join, we play and like I don't play, and the only night I play is that community night, and then I'm like salty as shit when I'm playing because I'm like, bro, you haven't played since last week, and you're, questioning why you're not good. Um,
Well,
it's hard, it's difficult, and like I'm in the same boat where I'm like I just have to convince myself to go play, even if it's not for very long
hmm
because it's just like if I'm going a week or even longer, like holidays just hit. So like I didn't play a lot of Street Fighter. I probably went almost a month or 2 or 3 weeks without playing, and like you forget that really quick. Like then you come back and you're like, I'm kind of shit.
yeah, like it took, like, I go to the hub and I start warming up and I'm like, okay, I'm beating the and then you just got it. But the thing like, definitely I have to, like, I got, so many setups and all that kind of stuff, and you just forget, like, oh yeah, that I could do this and I can do this. Bro, I was playing Street Fighter for like 3 days before I could remember, like, because I wouldn't like remember it and go look it up immediately because it'd be the middle of a match, and then I forget, and next I'm like, next match, like, oh yeah, I didn't look it up. I was playing for like a good week before I could remember how to do fucking drive reversal.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I was like, I should do drive reversal here, and I'm like, wait, is it parry buttons or is it DI buttons? And I couldn't remember. And then the moment has passed already, and now I'm like, well, I'm not doing it now. It's -8. I'm not trying to.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, that took me, like, it took me until like this week where I was like, okay, I'm doing way better defensively. I'm not dropping combos. I'm optimizing, like, not necessarily dropping combos because like B&Bs, especially Street Fighter 6, they're not the craziest, so that part isn't
hmm
rough, but it's more like optimizing. Oh, on this hit, drive rush jab, blah blah blah, optimize, get to the corner. Now I have 4 or 5 setups in my head. I have like two, I remember two. I remember the one my
yeah,
go-to, and then I'm like, yeah, like, so that's really where it's messing me up there. Grand Blue is honestly very simple for the most part. So once you get to, I have my, like, my spots, and then I have like my little branch off tree is like 3 options really, and so that hasn't been an issue. That's more, I don't have a lot of matchup experience in that, against
yeah,
some, like, I literally, there's one character I've literally played against twice, and it was the same dude, and then
yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't seen him since. So like there's stuff like that in Grand Blue, but in Street Fighter it's more just kind of sticking with it and make sure I play like the level of competition, because I'll go in the hub and even being rusty, I played a dude and he let me beat him 20-0, and I'm like, cool, I appreciate the practice.
Right,
And
right.
then I go to ranked, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't remember nothing. I forgot how to fight
Yeah,
Ken.
I'm the same. Like we're doing that Lord of the Mains tournament right now, and like, bro, if we're in the hub doing community night, I'm solid. I'm like, I'm doing the stuff I should be doing, and then I got into like that first matchup, and I swear I had like an anxiety attack because my wife was watching me. It was the first match. I just jumped in and I didn't warm up or anything, and it was just like I got in and I was like, bro, I don't remember how to play this game. And I think that's like a tournament, kind of setting. Your mindset changes, things along that nature. So I have a two part question.
Okay.
So since you're dabbling in so many games now,
hmm
do you feel when you stop playing X game and you go play Y game, do you kind of like have input issues coming from one game into the next?
Um, for the most part, no. But that's
Okay.
because right now the games I'm playing are really different. And also, thankfully, they all have the same throw input. that is a big deal.
Okay.
But
Okay.
so there is that. But if it
Tekken has an
wasn't for that,
additional one, right? Because it's one
yeah,
and three, and then two and four.
yeah. So you can do 1 and 3, 2 and 4. Some people, one and three, 2 and 4, 1 and 2. But for the like, you can tech like you have a throw with 1 and 3, which is light punch and light kick in Street Fighter, which is light punch and special in Grand Blue, and they're all throw input. So that is helps a lot. I will
Okay.
say when I went from Grand Blue back to Street Fighter and I was playing Kimberly, it's like I didn't do this, but in my head I was like, I would do this here. I would do like in my I had the impulse to do moves that Kimberly does not have
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
in that same situation in Grand Blue, I'd be like, I got this defensive option, I got this defensive option, and in Street Fighter, I'm like, I'm sitting here, I'm gonna have to guess a parry, or I'm gonna have to guess a reversal. I'm gonna have to guess a super, or I'm gonna have to guess a drive reversal at this point. Where I'm like,
Yeah.
Grand Blue, I'm like, I got a DP, I got a guard cancel, and the guard cancel is plus on block, so even if you block it, I'm plus. Or I got this, she has a move where she does like a back flip, and it was just invulnerable from the flip, and she can either comes back, and if she does that and you block it, I'm plus again. She also has a low off of that, where if you're just wishing buttons, it's negative, but it's only throw punishable, and not everyone knows that. Or I can just do stance, and I'm right here. And guess what? Stance has an auto parry. I have so many options for defense, and I go Street Fighter. And I play Kimberly. I'm like, I'm just blocking, bro. I'm blocking.
Yeah.
I gotta guess at some point. So
So how much better do you think Kimberly would be if she had invincibility on her EXCP?
uh she probably I will say this, I was not looking forward to Street Fighter 6, so I didn't watch a ton of stuff when it was beta stuff, but after I saw
Hmm.
Kimberly and I realized, yeah, she's definitely getting played, I went back and watched beta stuff and realized that people definitely overreacted outside of her glitch where she could get level up without getting level 3, but
Hmm.
people just didn't know how to fight her. So
Yeah.
even if she stayed the way she had stayed exactly in the beta, she would have been like high tier, but she wouldn't have been top tier for sure. Because
Okay.
all the stuff that you do against her now, you could do against her in beta. They just didn't know about it. So they didn't know about how to stop the run, to check the runs. They didn't know about stopping the forward roundhouse stuff. They didn't know about like there's a lot of stuff they just didn't know. So therefore they nerfed. But I personally think she's mid tier right now. She's like
Yeah.
solidly B tier. With having an invol move, she probably be high B a
That low
tier.
A.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she'd
Yeah.
be like not up there with Cammy, I don't think, because she still has the same issues with her offense where once she gets started, she's cooking, but it takes a little bit to get started. Whereas Cammy has like, you block a spin double, okay, now it's time to go. Whereas Kimberly, there's no move where you block and now it's time to go. It's drive rush, which everyone has. So I'd
Yeah.
say she'd probably be like a low A tier.
Okay.
Um, or mid A tier. She'd be good. She'd be like around. Depends on where you have Marissa or Rashid. I think she'd be in that area.
Okay.
And I mean, that's
Fair.
mostly because hey, you can't just throw like you got to pay attention. You can't just throw gaps in there where I have to respect them right now. I have to respect them or I have to parry them. Drive rush. I have to respect it or parry it. Where there's gaps where when I was doing my DJ run, I'm like, bro, I can hey
Yeah. Yeah.
every time. Like, oh, there's a gap there. I know there's a gap there. Normally with Kimberly, I just gotta hold that. With DJ, maximum.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that difference would be a big deal from the way you have to approach her.
Yeah, I
And
think that kind
yeah.
of correlates, like, because I play jury, so like it correlates with like jury. So like I am not downplaying jury. So let me start by saying that I do think jury is very good, but I think other characters in the game do what jury does, but better.
Mhm.
So like her like store system, for example. Oh, I want to throw a fireball. I have to have a store. My fireball goes across the ground, which is good because you can follow it. But in some matchups, it's really bad.
Mhm.
Like Blanca balls over it. So in if I wish sometimes I had a normal fireball, I wish I could just throw fireballs. But
Yeah.
it's kind of the give or take kind of situation where it's like I do think she's very good, but it's like you play characters like Luke or DJ or JP, and I mean to me JP is playing a completely different game uh, than everybody else because I mean, he's essentially anime Street Fighter. There's so much shit on the screen,
Yeah.
and he is a huge knowledge check where it's like Luke is good, but Luke is still very Shoto feeling, where you can kind of, oh, fireballs, he's got uppercuts, things of that
Yeah.
nature. So you're still playing Street Fighter versus like JP. There's just stuff all over the screen, and if you don't know how to deal with that, it is a very, you're basically playing a Ninja Warrior, essentially.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely that difference, and depending on the matchup, like it's gonna be annoying. But yeah, but yeah, I would say I'm thinking about the original question, but overall, right now, it hasn't been a problem, but it has definitely been issues in the past where
Yeah,
I'll play if I'm playing one Street Fighter and going to another, like if I'm playing Third Strike and going from Third Strike to Street Fighter 6, there have been some times where I'm like, oops, I did the wrong parry input. I parried
yeah.
with buttons instead of
Well,
parrying
that
with
you actually have to parry. You're
yeah.
not just holding two buttons and
Yeah, so there's been those
parrying
times.
everything.
Occasionally, but now I will say there have been times where like I'll go play another game and I'll be like, oh snap, like I don't remember how to do something in this game. So like if I like haven't played like Blaze Blue or whatever or something like that, when I'm like, oh bro, I can't even remember how to. I don't remember how to throw none of that stuff.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah,
but right now the games are so different that there hasn't been too much where I'm like I've definitely in the same night played Tekken and Street Fighter and not the input drops I have were not because I just played Tekken. They were simply because
yeah.
I hadn't played Street Fighter enough recently. So that hasn't been an issue now because I've talked to people before when Chris G came out here for was it last Winter Showdown?
Yeah, I
Not
believe so.
yeah.
Or two ago, maybe
So
it
yeah, two
was.
ago. Well, he came out here two ago, and yeah, it still makes me sad, makes me upset that I choked against him in Melty Blood. I was up 2-0 in a round, y'all,
Oh no.
and I straight up choked. And it took me a while to go watch that match, and I had the read, I had the OS, and if I'd done the right combo, he'd die. But anywho, I
Yeah,
literally asked him how he do, like, how do you play it? Because I do, like, I'm trying, like, and he was like, I just do it. You just play a bunch and then you just do it. I'm like, oh thanks.
yeah.
He's like, literally, I just do it.
But I do agree with what he's saying, but I also like I played Tekken for an hour or two, just messing around with Asuzena, and like was like, oh, this is cool. I could see myself playing this because I would never mix the two of them up. Like when you're launching with like down forward threes, kind of thing. And I'm like, you're not gonna do that in Street Fighter. Like
Yeah,
it's just the game itself, the properties of the game is just different. You're looking for such different things, and I never once was like trying to learn combos in Tekken and went, oh man, I mixed that up with a jury combo,
yeah,
kind
100%.
of thing. So,
Yeah,
and I definitely think the throw thing does help. Like,
yeah, it definitely does. I've definitely been played Street Fighter and then go to like Blaze Blue when I was playing both and done the wrong throw and
yeah,
doing that in Blaze Blue is gonna get you messed up because you just hit a random drive. All right,
yeah,
what's and then I'm playing my drive typically was either a lot playing Lychee or Rachel or maybe Kokonoe, depending on the version. But each time, me doing a random drive in that situation is not going to work out for me. So there
yeah,
have been times in the past where stuff like that. Um, Marvel with Viper, I actually did have to stop playing Viper in Street Fighter because her inputs, I see Viper and her inputs are literally the opposite in
yeah,
each game. So that one I did have to straight up just stop playing Viper in Street Fighter
yeah. I
4
can't do it, bro.
because the inputs they're literally the opposite. And it made more
Yeah.
sense to me in Marvel because she said like so I just when Yun came out, so I was like, all right, guess I gotta play Yun.
So it's also difficult too, because like even in different Street Fighters, like I go and play ST I don't play ST a lot. Like let me
Mm,
not act like I do, but like you go and play a game like ST or Alpha, and then like the throw mechanic is being close and like fierce or roundhouse or whatever it is, and then you play like every other Street Fighter, and you're like, I'm so happy that throw is a button
yes.
versus, oops, I was trying to do this, but I was too close, so I threw you by mistake.
Yep.
Kind of
SC
thing.
ST with their you teched but you still took damage. What, bro? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
died because I teched the throw. Get it?
yeah. So the second part of the question was because we addressed playing multiple games.
hmm
So since you're in the FGC, do you feel like any of the skills you have learned in FGC has gone over into other things in life?
Yes, for sure. So, like, of course, me and you both being tournament organizers, being able to organize an event and that kind of thing is like, that's already a big deal. Like um, things like that, things like social media, having to deal with announcing tournaments and dealing with a bunch of people bring volunteering and bringing setups and things like that. That helped a
Yeah,
lot. Literally, the reason I got into graphic design was because I was making avatars and signatures and stuff on forums, and a friend was like, "Hey, why don't you go to school for graphic design?" I was like, "I didn't even know that's a thing
yeah.
here." I always do wonder, well, like, wonder what alternate universe Chris is looking like if he stuck with it and stuff like that. I just want to take a peek. Like, I don't want that life because I'm happy with the life I have now, and maybe I probably don't end up where I am now if that goes. But I do always want,
Hmm.
I want that everywhere all at once. I just want to take a peek. I just want to be
Yeah.
like, hey, how you doing?
See what other Chris is doing.
I'm just yeah, just be like, yeah, okay, that's cool. And then maybe I'm like, maybe I should do a little bit more of that in my life right now, which is how I feel currently anyway.
Yeah.
It's
You're always
just
gonna feel like it doesn't
yeah.
even if you stuck with design and you were doing what say you were a graphic designer and your whole life was changed, you would always have, I wonder what if
Yeah.
I would have done, this instead kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
It's hard to say because honestly, fighting game has been like the one constant in my life since I was 18 years old. Like I've been
mhm,
doing this like I've been multiple times. I mean, like we've been friends since I was like 20. So like there have been times, multiple times where I'm like, I think I'm done. I think I'm not gonna play anymore.
yeah,
I think maybe I'll still come around, I'll still watch, etc., etc. And then next, I'm like I'm doing too well. Like I can't go out on
yeah,
top. I can't go. I'm doing too. Oh man, I'm playing Strive and I'm winning like every tournament. I can't just go out on top. Oh, I'm doing well in Street Fighter. I don't have a win. I don't have a win yet. I can't go out to like I gotta get a win,
yeah,
right? I'm learning Tekken. It's fun. I gotta, see how far I can take it. Want to get good, right? Gotta see how I do against these dudes that have been playing it for 20 years. And I'm like, okay, let me see how
yeah.
I am in 6, 7 months, 8 months, a year, etc. And then
I was
it just keeps happening to where like I end up coming back, and so everything from my life is kind of branched off from fighting games.
Yeah, and I always think like it's when it comes to fighting games, I always have like a mindset. It's like nobody ever quits; they just take breaks,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Because even if it's like, oh man, I don't play anymore because Marvel doesn't exist, bro. If Marvel 4 dropped tomorrow, I guarantee that person would be back, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like,
we've seen it every time. Like
yeah, it's just you just take breaks. You never quit.
yeah, we've heard like the story of like the ST gods and Cali, or what's that guy? The guy Nelson, the Gal player from like NorCal or whatever,
Mhm.
who people like, yeah, and then he popped up in Street Fighter 4 and he won a few tournaments. And then I think the same thing happened at the beginning of like he'll like play for like a little bit and then disappear, but each
Yeah,
game he pops up for like even if it's not even if he didn't stay. I have seen him in like they used to talk about that guy as like, yeah, remember, and then Street Fighter 4 comes out, he comes up, he pops up out of nowhere, has a really nice guile, plays for a little bit, then disappears.
yeah,
Same thing happened in 5, and I ran into him in 6 in ranked. I was like, his name's just like, I was like, oh, Nelson, guy. I was like, oh, I remember. And he was like, had a decent guile and everything. I was like, yep, sure enough.
yeah.
And he just shows up. There are very few people who were like, oh no, oh, that was weird.
We're back in business.
Yeah, that was weird. I was just straight up like I didn't do anything. It just came back. But
Yeah, no, it happens
yeah.
because like I was literally on Twitter a few weeks ago,
Mhm.
and I didn't even realize I thought he completely changed career paths, and I don't even remember what it was, but it was somebody was talking about Jury, and it was Finger Cramp Jago, and I was like, yo, I forgot about him. It's been so long.
Mhm.
And he was like talking about like where he thought Jury was gonna be and stuff, and I was like, damn, that's dope to see that he's still playing even if he's not going to play for the longevity, because
Mhm.
that's kind of what happens. Is like I saw a meme the other day and it's something like, I wish when you were having the best times of your life that you could know when they were going to end, something like that, where it's like, when you're playing fighting games and you think about all these people that are on the top, and then not necessarily that they go away, but you just don't see them anymore, and you're like,
Yeah,
damn,
he's
I
definitely one
never
of those
would have known that
ones.
that was the last tournament I was going to see Jago in, kind of thing.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those ones where I'm like, dang, he just disappeared. Like, he just like straight up, like after like four, I think, because
Yeah,
I don't really,
that's the
yeah,
last time I remember him.
yeah, just
Same
like,
thing with like Knuckle Dew. I remember seeing Knuckle Dew at Evo.
hmm
We all went to go get something to eat, and like there was a table, and it was like Knuckle Dew and Brian F and a bunch of other people, and like I just went up to Dew, and I was like, "Bro, I'm so glad you're back."
hmm
Like I've never talked to this dude a day in my life, but like some players, you just like you just enjoy them seeing them be around because they're just such good players and excellent talent and stuff like that. And then real life stuff happens, and people kind of fade out, and you
hmm
don't see them anymore. So when you just see them back, it's just like, yo, I'm just happy to see you back playing, man.
yeah, and then they come back and they're like good, and that's always like
Yeah,
because you don't want to hear that the way people I think Daigo gets a little bit of a pass because he's still high level, but he's not the Daigo of the way he was before.
yeah,
And you just see the occasional where people was like, bro, you don't know who you're talking about when you talking to dude about Daigo like that. You need to
yeah.
put some respect on
Oh,
that
for
man's
sure. And it's funny too,
legacy.
because like
Same
they're
thing with
like
Justin. Like Justin
Daigo's,
don't even try to.
yeah, Justin Wong too. They're like, yo, these people are washed or whatever, and you're like,
Hmm,
bro, Daigo's still hitting top 16s.
yeah.
Like he may not be winning tournaments anymore, and I'm like, bro, imagine going to like a large major and you're like, yo, you got top 16. As like a homie or your friend, you're freaking out. You're like, yo, my homie made top 16 at
Bro,
CEO. You have no idea, but Daigo does it. Yo, he's washed.
I still like I got top like what did I get at Combo Breaker? I definitely got top 24. I think I got like top 20 or something third strike. I'm still
Yeah,
happy about that. I got 49th in Dragon Ball that year, and literally I was okay with it because I couldn't stay that Sunday anyway. And the reason I didn't was because I missed a punish, and because I didn't know dude stayed in the air. He did something, and I know he didn't come to the ground and I could punish.
yeah,
I thought he came to the ground and I could punish, and I know I have to punish him in the air. Otherwise, I would have won that match. He ended up winning that match and then winning the second one, and I was like, cool. That actually I was going to have to DQ myself anyway, but I was like, I got 49th out of however many,
yeah,
700 something, went to Evo, got 100, like top 120 something out of, 2K. Like I was ecstatic with that. So to be like, yeah, but like he also like that's not necessarily the focus anymore. Now he's just, he's content creating. Yes, he wants to win, I'm sure, because it's Daigo,
yeah.
but
It's
he's
Daigo,
not
yeah,
doing what he did before to because we saw what happened when he focused and they did that Tokido first to 10 and he's like, oh, we like he actually sat down, focused, did his thing, and next thing you know, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like Daigo is Daigo, bro.
yeah,
When he
yeah,
turns like he probably don't have like the time or focus to like be that anymore. It's kind of like retired NBA players or whatever. Bro, I saw a video yesterday. Carmelo Anthony was cooking Danny Green at Lifetime Fitness. I was like, bro, he just can't he didn't do that. He can't do that 24/7 like he used to because he's older. But
yeah,
y'all don't forget who Melo was because I was like, he was cooking those and Danny Green still got that same mohawk. So
yeah,
I was like, is that Danny Green? And so enough, I look, I was like, yeah, that's Danny Green getting cooked right now.
yeah.
And I was like, so like they got it, bro. Don't disrespect them
Yeah, it
because they
was
don't
a
have the
similar
time.
story. They just had the Pro Bowl last weekend, and they did like a skills competition. And there's a former quarterback. His name is Dan Orlovsky, and he's now an analyst now. So he was like, he went and did this QB challenge and did pretty well. Like he was the only one to make it in like this 10-point bucket, which was like a 50-yard throw. And one of the commentators on ESPN, his name is Mad Dog or whatever, and he was like just dogging this dude. And it was like the first comment I saw was Orlowski's closer to Patrick Mahomes than Mad Dog is to Orlowski. And I'm like, bro, that's the truth. Because I
That
mean,
is the
that's when
truth
you're
for
getting to
sure.
that like high level of play. That's the difference, man.
Mm,
Like it's difficult, and people don't understand that, and they just think, oh, XYZ is or X is washed because he's old, and it's like, bro, you're crazy.
yeah, it's like
I
they
wish
still
I
have the
could go to tournaments and get
focus.
Daigo results and be in top 16 and be like, damn, I'm washed.
And Daigo himself will always has always been like I think as well as the difference of social media and Twitch and everything and him making content and stuff because Daigo has always said he's a slow learner. He
Yeah,
said that in four, like when he didn't, because like we remember, like everyone was expecting Daigo to just come and win immediately when Street Fighter 4 came out, and he himself
yeah,
was always saying, "Nah, it takes me a little while for to start winning." like because he didn't win anything for like a good year or so when 4 came out. But now we see every little, there's big tournaments a month after the game comes out and stuff like that. So that difference is there. Whereas before, you didn't see anybody till Evo. You
Yeah.
might like so you didn't know what was happening. Was that so Evo comes around and then you see everybody and then so it looks like he came out over the bro. He's been grinding for a year,
Yeah.
talking about how he it takes him a while and then he didn't win until like what year 2 of Street Fighter 4 I think it was because that
Yeah.
first year was like Ricky and Justin and all them and he's always been honest about that, but it's just he's like, oh, he's washed, but like, all right, you go be Daigo then,
Yeah.
if
But
he's
that's
so
why I also like
honest.
Daigo. I think is one of those. He's always excelled at long sets.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about like the slow learner, because that's what he's known for. Like you're running Daigo on a first to 10, good luck, bro. Because he is gonna pick up on the stuff you are doing.
Hmm.
Like yo, you might get him those first 3 or 4 matches, but good luck with matches 5 through 15 or whatever it
For
is. Because that's just the kind of player that he is. So I think going back to the original question of like things kind of from FGC going into real life, I definitely think stuff I do in fighting games definitely kind of moves over into my real life as well. So like I play card games as well, like competitively. So I was playing Yugi for a while, and recently started playing Flesh and Blood. And Flesh and Blood I really like because it honestly reminds me of fighting games. In the nature of like you play a character, you really build your deck for that character, and you are learning matchups. So say there's 20 characters in the game, that might be a bad matchup for your character. And I'm playing this game and I'm like, oh, this is literally fighting games. Like same thing, same like we're talking about watching matches, your wins and losses, and you're watching deck profiles, and it's the exact same thing that you do in fighting games, where you're like, yo, I need to learn this setup, or you're watching somebody play and you're like, yo, wait a minute, and you're rewinding because you're like, what did he just do? Yo, that was
bro.
dope. And then you immediately go into the lab and you're trying to figure that out yourself. So, and it's just kind of crazy how I've been playing fighting games since what, '07, '06, almost 20 years, and like it just kind of goes into real life as well, where it is like TOing, and it helps you get over that, like, yo, you're shy, you can't be a shy TO, bro, because it's
Yeah.
just not going to
So
go well, because you're eventually going to be put into a situation where you're talking to somebody that you may not know, or you're
hmm
asking for help, or things of that nature. And like when people go to tournaments and say they're newer and they're kind of shy and they don't know what's going on, bro, just talk to your TO. Because most times TOs are doing like, bro, nobody is TOing to get paid money.
yeah.
Nobody. I mean, unless you're doing like big tournaments like Evo and things of that nature.
And
But
even
if you're
there,
like a
you gotta
local
get
level,
there. You
yeah,
can't
even
just
if you're
start.
local level though, you're not doing it to get paid.
Yeah.
Like you're just not, bro. So talk to your TO. They're usually super chill. They'll
Hmm.
help you out. They'll introduce you to some people. And the best thing about being a TO is like you go very under the radar. People don't appreciate like TO is like a referee in sports.
Yeah.
You don't ever talk about the ref unless they're doing bad.
Yeah, exactly, bro. You don't like the only refs whose names I know are because they're bad.
Yep. Yep. Completely agreed. And that's the same thing with TO. Like you don't ever want to talk about a TO, but if you start talking about a TO,
Yeah, like
just saying.
there's like I don't know Tim Scott because he's a great referee. That's how
Right.
I like
Yeah.
I don't know no referee because they're good. I know them all because this matchup they again Chris Paul against him. It was like all of a sudden it's a rest versus a team. That's the only reason with
Yep.
TOs
Yep.
you do know the good TOs, but like you know the big TOs. So like of course you know Rick and you know Jabali and you know I guess Spooky to this point is not really a TO now, but he's like you
Yeah.
know Big E, like
You
you
knew Spooky
know
because I mean he wasn't TOing, but he was TOing streams.
yeah. So like you know those you know Tong now, like
Yeah. And the Cannon brothers, of course. Like,
yeah you know
yeah.
those guys, but like unless you're like into it, you don't know that Nothing XX is really they're the one who's doing a lot of work behind the scenes and stuff like that. You don't know about Curling W. You don't know about Chin Dog. You don't know about these people who are like behind them doing that stuff.
Yeah.
You you know, like Shinobi and things like that. Like if you're in part of that scene, you know that. But these dudes are people who are been around, been doing this for a minute, and here, but if you don't like, you know about them, be if you know, you know, basically,
Yeah,
that type of thing. So definitely, if you're new, one, just like like there's usually always going to be someone who's like, yeah, come through, I'll show I'll sit here, even if the and then two, Drill, just sit and play some casuals, and you do it long enough, someone's going to be like, hey, if you blah 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 blah. Oh, hey, I don't know you. You're pretty decent. Blah blah blah. Or even if you're bad, they'll be like, and you ask for advice, they'll be like, oh, you can do this here, you can do this here. And next,
yeah,
you struck up a conversation, and you can, if you have, you can continue that, and you can just literally be like, oh, how long you been playing? Are you from here, etc. Next, as long as you're chill, you're in, and
yeah,
that's kind of how it works. Like I don't know a lot of these people now because I'm not active like I was. I'm not going to every monthly because I mean it's winter. I'm not driving dinner all ever all the time.
yeah, yeah. I don't
And
blame you
also
at all.
sometimes I'm like I don't like I, I don't want to spend my whole Saturday
Yeah,
at a tournament like I used to anymore. So like that's always gonna be like a tournament for me is like more or less like a special occasion. Like I'm spending my whole day at this one thing. When I was young, I was like, yeah, that's all I want. I just want to play
yeah.
a game.
That was our
Now I'm
Saturday,
like,
bro. I remember we used to drive up in the Windstar,
for
and
real.
like, bro, we was there the whole goddamn night, and that's including like, yo, we played in the tournament,
Hmm.
people place, whatever. Then we're gonna go get something to eat,
Yep.
and after we're done eating, we're like, yo, what's good after? And then we're driving home at 1 in the morning,
Yep, and
like in
then
town.
depending on what's happening, we might be sleeping in your room, playing some
Yep,
more.
yep. Like it just depends, man. And like that's
Like I
and then
do
I think
not do that. Like 8, 9 o'clock, I'm ready to go home. I got a wife
yeah,
now, bro. I'm trying to go home.
yeah, I get it. Like I mean, the only night I actually play late, like I'm a night owl, so I stay up. But
Yeah,
like, bro, the only time I'm actually up playing late with people is Thursdays.
I can be home, staying up, play late with somebody, and that's cool. But if I'm out, if I'm at a tournament and like the Saturday local is like 5 minutes away from my crib. It's literally
Yeah,
right down Vickers. So even if I'm at that one, 9 o'clock, I'm
yeah,
I'm
I
trying to
get
go
it.
home. I could go like
Yeah,
it's just I got a wife. I'm paying rent. I got this big old TV that I'm paying. Like bro, I'm about to go home and enjoy life.
yeah.
And sure, if someone wants to get on part of that is video games, then I'm gonna jump on or whatever. But I'm like,
It's different.
yeah, it ain't like where I'm like, oh. Before I'd be like, yeah, we here. Oh, okay, everyone's going. Okay, I guess it's time to go home. Nah, bro. If I once like 9 o'clock hits, I'm like, when's this top eight starting? Like,
Yeah,
bro, it's ten
yeah,
o'clock and I like Grant, we ain't done. And it used to be I'll stay for a whole tournament, all that stuff, bro. If I'm not in the finals, I'm out.
yeah,
Unless I'm getting paid to shoot it. And then I'll say,
yeah.
but like if I'm not getting paid to shoot it and I'm not in the finals, I'm like, bro,
Nice seeing you. I appreciate you running this
yep.
event.
I will text John like I was like, yo, do this, but I'm in Castle Rock.
Yeah,
I just hit the halfway point. I'm at the loaf and jug. I'm getting my little snack. I'm gonna
yeah,
put my phone
bro.
up on the dash while I eat
The
my
loaf and
snack.
jug,
Yep, that halfway
the one
point.
right off of
Yep,
I-25,
that's the
easy to get back on the
yep,
interstate.
that's the
Yep,
halfway point. I'm gonna hit that. I might hit McDonald's if I'm really hungry. Go across the loaf and jug. I like at
yeah,
Akizime, he was playing a Luke player that I had beaten pools. So I literally was like, I was at Castle Rock, parked in there, eating my snacks, had my phone up, text him a couple tips, eat my snacks, and then I'm back on the road because I'm trying
yeah.
to get home before I
Bro,
was like,
Akazeme was so brutal. It was just a long ass tournament, man. To
yeah,
do like the last chance qualifier and then the regional tournament after was just like, bruh, it
yeah,
was tiring. And I
yeah.
wasn't even playing, so I can't even
Like
imagine.
Winter Showdown, I didn't register until they had the schedule out. Because once I saw, I was like, I'm not trying to stay. Like I'm not really trying to stay up there all weekend. So
Yeah,
let's see what the schedule's like. And then they had Grand Blue and Street Fighter on the same on both on just Saturday. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm
you're
gonna
like,
enter just those
yes.
two. Tekken 8's on Sunday. I'm like, guess I'm not playing Tekken.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Multi
rough.
Bloods on Friday. And I thought I was like, man,
So it's Sunday, Tekken and KOF.
I think yeah, Sunday's like Tekken, KOF, I think MK, something like that, and then Friday is like Blaze Blue, Melty, and stuff like that. So I want to play Melty, but I was like, I'm not driving up there on Friday. I'm not trying to stay on no one's couch again right
Yeah,
now. Like so I was like Saturday, I'm coming up and play Street Fighter. I'm gonna play Grand Blue. Hopefully, I do my best in both, and then I'm coming back home. I'm not sleeping in my bed that night. I'm not gonna
yeah.
be out like till 1 in the morning. None of that. I'm coming home. And I was like, yep, I'm up there one day. I'm gonna enjoy my Sunday off, and then it's back to work Monday.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm not
Bro,
doing
that
like I used
Sunday,
to.
like, yo, having that Sunday is so nice, bro.
Hmm.
You're like, I ain't gotta get up at super early. I mean, I still get up at like 8 to 9. That's me sleeping in now. I
Yeah.
remember like,
Well, you got
yo,
kids in
I'm
the
gonna
crib,
sleep
so.
in. Yeah, and it used to be like, 1 or 2, not even 1 or 2, maybe like 11 or 12. And
I
now
mean, it
my
was one or
sleeping
two.
in, like this morning, I woke up at 8:30.
Yeah, it was
I was like, bro,
definitely.
I didn't have to get up at 7 though. That alarm didn't go off to wake me up.
Nah, for me, sleeping is definitely still like noon one. Well, not as much. Like, well, that's usually is like okay, maybe you might wake up at like 11 or so, but I'm not getting out the bed.
Oh
So
yeah,
like,
yeah, no, that's a huge difference between waking up and getting out of bed.
yeah.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different now, but like I said, I definitely still it is funny, but I still feel way more mentally strong. I feel like I adjust better, things of that nature. So that's why I still do this because well, it feels like I'm complaining to be like I'm not doing, but the part of me mentally just feels strong and where I'm like I feel like I gotta maximize this time, and so I'm like I'm still playing, I'm still beating these people. I'm gonna keep going until not. We'll see what happens with Street Fighter. Like I said, these people are focusing on Street Fighter. They're playing every day. I get a ping from Panglocks in 2 different Discords every day talking about who's looking for games, and I can never play because either it's like around the time where I'm still on the clock, and I can't,
Yeah,
or then after, okay, now I'm clocked out. I gotta feed the cats in 30 minutes. Okay, now it's about time for dinner. By the
yeah,
time all this happens, I'm like, all right, it's like 8, 9, and we're watching a little TV. Okay, she kind of nodded off. I'll play some games for a few hours, and then it's like, okay, which game do I start with? And by that, like, and he's like, 4 o'clock. Who's looking for games? And he'll be on there all night.
bro. That's why I was trying to do the community night because I was trying to just get a set time and night for like people to show up because it
Mhm.
is rough. And that was the whole point of Moon Marauders. Like when we first started making this, the idea was like as you get older, it's harder to make not only friends,
Mhm.
but it's also harder to make time to do stuff
Mhm.
because everyone's schedule is so different. You may not even get off of work till 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I get up.
bruh,
I clock out at 6, and then like that's probably one of the reasons I've been missing community night recently. Is that one is much in my memory. I literally forget, and then by the time I remember, I'm like, damn, I'm already doing something else. But
yeah,
like I get off at 6:30, we feed the cats. Around 7 or so, it's like okay, we're hungry. It's time to eat or figure out food or whatever.
yeah,
Then 7:30. Then after you eat, you just chilling. Then like typically there'll be like maybe a game we're playing where like she'll just watch me, like that's kind of been our thing recently where she'll just watch me play like a one player.
yeah,
So right now we're playing Horizon. So then it's like okay, we're gonna throw on some Horizon, and then she'll probably nod off around like 9 or so, just be on the couch, fall off, and then I'm like, all right. Then I'm gonna watch the stream for maybe a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, I'm hyped to play. Let me jump on, and then I'm like, all right, what game am I playing today? What do I want to start with?
yeah,
Okay, let's start with, I should probably start with Grand Blue or Street Fighter going forward. Just start there, and then once I get annoyed enough, or when it comes to Grand Blue, because there's not as many high level players, you start running to the same people like 3, 4 times. I'm like, okay, I'm getting bored. Let me go jump on
yeah.
Tekken because I know there's gonna be a ton of people playing Tekken. I know I'm gonna get a bunch of different looks. I know I need to. That game itself is a huge knowledge check, so I got to get this time in, and then like literally yesterday, I didn't even play yesterday. I didn't play yesterday at like if I had a game open, if you ever see me with a game open, it's usually because I am looking at something. Sometimes it's training mode, but like if you saw me playing Tekken yesterday, guess what I was doing? I was making different costumes for Reina. I was installing that Sharingan mod. I didn't even like go to practice mode yesterday. I was just making
Yeah.
different costumes.
Well, Discord also does that thing where like shows you're playing a game and they're not actually playing the game. Like it's 3 o'clock, and I'm like, I know damn well he ain't playing no Street Fighter right now, bro.
Oh yeah, bro.
Like,
Like it'll be like I might or it'll be like I have it on I have it the like the little the icons on my my toolbar. Maybe
yeah,
like let's be honest, I was probably opening Discord and right next to Discord is my Street Fighter icon. I probably
yeah,
hit that and then I'm like whoops. Or if I got a game open, you see me playing Grand Blue in the middle of the day. Am I really playing? Nah, what happened? I went into the lobby and I was seeing with the crane game what prizes they had in there because I have like two colors for Yule that I don't have yet. Or there
yeah,
might, so like stuff like that. All right, crane game for a minute, and then they have this little thing where your avatar can hang glide, and I will legit just hang glide around to the lobby for a sec, just as you, and then I'm like, all right, I'm out, and close the game. So
yeah. So I don't think we're gonna dive into anything like deep today.
mhm.
I think this is just a good kind of start. Have some fun banter, give everybody a kind of an understanding of who we are. You know what our history is, what we kind of plan on doing. So I think the name that I came up with is Talking That Tech, because I'm a huge Killer Mike fan. So kind of a homage to one of his songs. I think we're either going to start dropping these bi-weekly on either Tuesdays or Thursdays,
Mhm.
and that way we can kind of get people on a schedule. So kind of goes with the T theme with Talking That Tech, kind of thing. So just stuff that to look forward to in the future. We're gonna kind of deep dive into what is it like to be a tournament level player? How do you prep for tournaments? How do you improve after tournaments? Because one thing that people say a lot is like make sure you're watching film, but a lot of times people only watch their losses, and you can actually go
Mhm.
back and watch wins, and you can learn a lot from wins because you're like, man, I may have won, but I also made this way more difficult on myself than it needed to
Word.
be, and things of that nature.
Exactly.
So we want to talk about some accomplishments, and then I know Chris said that he was down to go over some frame data one day because there are people in the community that
Mhm.
frame data is very overwhelming,
Yeah.
especially if you don't know what you're doing.
Mhm.
You could talk pluses and minuses all day, but then you have to keep into your mind like spacing, things of
Yeah.
that nature. Oh well, this is minus, but I'm doing this because it is minus, and I'm hoping you press something after it because I'm gonna counter hit the shit out of you, and
Yeah.
things of that nature.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into it where like you start off with just a plus and minus, and that is a good way to start. And then but then you gotta kind of like okay, it's minus, but I push myself out with this. Like I literally have a block stream with Kimberly where I know I'm minus here. Technically I'm punishable, but because of the push out and because of the button you're probably gonna press, I'm actually gonna counter hit you even though I'm -6. So
Yeah,
there are things of that nature, and there are a lot of like you said, watching your wins and losses and there's a lot of stuff to go over, so I'm looking forward to it. I want to give one simple tip, which is I've done recently. I tweeted about it.
okay,
If you're playing on PC or whatever, PS5 these days, and you have your stuff set up for your highlights and everything because you want your clip, make it longer than the last 30 seconds, minute, whatever. Make it 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever.
okay,
Because if you got a crazy comeback, yeah, that's dope, but make it longer than that so you can see why did you get put in a position that you had to make that crazy comeback.
yeah, that's
Like
fair.
it's one thing if you just dusted them that entire round. That happens, especially with the characters I play. You kind of get steamrolled sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
I would save
You
my
in that mix,
my
bro?
yeah, I would save my clips and they'd just be 1 minute. And I recently changed it to like 3 minutes because there was something I had missed and I was like, oh dang it, I didn't have my stuff long enough and it's something and I didn't clip it, so I was like, oh yeah, I just made it 3 minutes. And doing that because I would go look and be like, ooh wait, and so I had to watch everything that happened to me up until the point where I had to make the comeback. And that helped a lot to be like, oh, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that, shouldn't have done that, should have did this. And that was a big difference between, hey, look at this dope comeback that I had to make, and now I'm like, why did I see
Yeah.
what happened to me to get to that point. And
Yeah.
that's something that's like real simple that helped me a lot because now I'm watching because if I don't go watch the full match, which I typically don't unless I'm like, oh my goodness, I just got dusted, or if it's a tournament set or a full set or something like that, I don't really go like just watch a random match. But if I have
Yeah.
highlight. Now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch the entire clip from when that started to up until that highlight, and be like, yeah, that was a dope. Like sometimes, honestly, I'll look at them like I don't even want to post this because I'm like, I shouldn't have been in that position to make that comeback anyway. I shouldn't have even got there. So
Yeah.
that's something where it's just something simple where I that wasn't the plan, that wasn't the literally, it was just because I missed something. I was like, damn, I wish I had recorded that. So now it's like a big part of me where I'm like, if I click on something, outside of Tekken, I'm like, I'll watch it, but I'm like it is what it is.
Yeah.
I didn't know any better.
Yeah, it's so early for that right now.
But
Like,
Street Fighter, I'm like, bro, why didn't I anti-air here? Why
yeah,
did I press this wrong button? Why didn't I do this combo? Why didn't I do this Oki? Why didn't I like chill? Why
yeah.
like
I am
or
a
whatever?
moment player. So if I'm not anti-airing while I'm playing and you tell me to anti-air, I start anti-airing. Like I'm bad at watching, like playing live and being like, yo, I need to anti-air more. But if a
Yeah.
homie in the crowd's in the back shouting, yo, you need to anti-air, fool, and then I'm like, oh, okay. And then the whole match changes when I start anti-airing. So I completely get that where the clip was dope, but what happened in the clip to put you in
Yeah,
that
exactly.
situation?
That's literally where I'm like, oh, so now that has helped a lot because I'm like now I'm like looking at it's like little like micro reviews instead of having to go
Yeah,
because like unless I'm like really lost, I'm not gonna go watch a whole match, or unless I'm studying a matchup, I'm not gonna go watch a whole match. But I might be like, oh yeah, I should have did this, I should have did this, and typically once that's in your head, there are a lot of things where I'm like I should do this, but it's just kind of I know I should versus
yeah,
I saw myself get jumped on and I didn't press the right button.
yeah,
Now I'm gonna press the right button versus I saw this one thing that's good, I should do it, and then I just forget to ever do it. Like there are things like I know what Kimberly, I'm gonna tell you to do, and I have literally never done in a match, but I know it's good. I just literally forget to
yeah,
do it. Versus things where like, hey, this jumping anti-air would stand roundhouse, and I like no, I do this, and then I watch a match like yeah, I should do this. Versus yeah, this thing right here, this piece of tech is good. I literally never done it. Like there's a thing with her where she can catch jump backs with drive rush stand roundhouse. Never done it in a match. Never.
yeah,
I know it's good. I'll tell you to do it. Versus
yeah.
hey, I straight up got jumped on. Press a button. So that's a big
Yeah, and I think that
difference.
just comes with playing matches, and
Yeah.
it's hard to learn everything. I mean, you
Yeah.
might have it in the memory bank, and then you go into that match, and you're like, damn, I wish I would have, or I
Yeah.
should have, or I could.
So I'm hyped to kind of spread some information, and also, like I said, it helps me kind of put. I have these things that are in my head, but I've never vocalized them. I have things that I do, but I've never really put thought onto why I do them. And then
Yep,
I know they're good because it works, but explaining to someone else why I do them has helped me. Like when I've reviewed matches and stuff, and I say, hey, you should do this here, you should do this here. It's putting into words things that I've just kind of known, but I've
yep,
never made them solid. So it makes a difference. So yeah, there's a lot of things we can definitely go over, and as I picked up and things like that we can like how to learn, how to watch, as you mentioned, how to watch film, how to
yep,
watch your matches, what to look for, how to lab, how to set up different things, especially the way training mode, how good training modes are now.
oh yeah.
Like yeah, like there's
That's what I was
some
talking about
things
with
like
Tekken. Was like I've played Tekken in the past, and just that hour I played in Tekken 8, I was like, bro, this training mode is leaps and bounds better
hmm
than any other Tekken ever.
like there's a
Because
lot of
you go
things
into
that
Tekken and they're
get
like, yo,
this,
here's
but
this
like
10-hit combo, and you're playing, and you're like, I thought I was practicing the combo, and then I'm talking to my buddy David, and he's like, yeah, you would never actually do that in a match. Like, it's not
yeah,
even an actual combo because it drops after like 4 hits or some shit. And I'm like, why is this in here then? So to boot up Tekken 8 and it has like launch and then combos after said launch, it's like, bruh, this is what y'all should have been doing years ago, kind of thing. Not this 10-hit combo that's
yeah.
not actually a combo because this happened and this happened kind of thing. So
Yeah, that's it's and then you can do they added the takeover, which has been nice because they're like it misses some things, and it's not. One thing I don't like is Tekken doesn't have like a combo counter when you're in match, and that can be annoying. Where I'm like, is that here? But and it misses some things, but like they'll give you tips. They'll be like, hey, you can crouch under this block string. You can, hey, this is
Oh, that's
punishable.
cool. I haven't even gotten that far to see that.
Oh yeah, if you go
I
to
literally picked Asuzena. I went into training mode, learned like 2 combos, and then I was like, I'm gonna go play this little story mode
bro,
arcade thing real quick.
there's a like the arcade quest is really dope.
Yeah.
I finished that. That helped me a lot. That helped me, bro. I didn't know sidestep was just tap up or tap down. I've been double tapping my entire time.
Oh, it's same.
Like I didn't know that. The game
No
told me that.
idea, bro.
The arcade quest, so it's a up with the stars. Like wait, that's it? It's just up, return to neutral. I've been tap
Is that
tap.
what star is?
Yeah,
Is
star.
return to neutral?
Yeah, stars just return to neutral. So if you see
Okay.
like when you see like the Electric Wing Godfist, it's forward neutral, then down forward. You gotta have that neutral
Okay.
input. If you don't have the neutral input, you just end up getting down forward too. So like sometimes if you ever see like a Reina player and you just see a Godfist and then you just see like the upper, that's because we messed
Didn't
up.
go to neutral.
Yeah, we didn't go to neutral,
sense.
messed up. So yeah, there's a lot of things to go over with over this time. So try to keep it. I will try to stay consistent
Yeah.
and make sure we available to record these and come
Yeah, no,
here.
I think that's why bi-weekly is easy. Because even if we don't premiere it till Tuesday, we can definitely record it on a different day, and then we
Yeah,
just save it till that Tuesday.
for sure, for sure.
And then I definitely want to get some guests on here as well,
Mm.
where it's not just the two of us all the time, but maybe we get somebody, some of our better players in, maybe even some, better known players as well. Would be
Mhm.
awesome to kind of get on here as well, because like I said, the whole idea when we kind of started Moo Marauders, it was essentially 5 or 6 of us, and we just wanted to make a community. Because as you get older, like I said, it's just harder to meet people. It's harder to play games. It's harder to be on at a set time. So we were just trying to make a community, and it's like our biggest thing is like it's a community for everybody. And the reason we say that is because it's not just fighting games. Like I'm a huge fighting game fan. You are as well. So yeah, that's what we talk about.
Mm.
But I would love to eventually get this to branch out, and maybe it's not us, but into another kind of thing where it is Diablo or Overwatch or whatever thing people want to talk about. Because I feel like we are very passionate, but I would love to see that passion kind of go into other games as well. And that's the cool thing is with the way we have the server set up is, bro, if you don't care about Street Fighter, you don't select Street Fighter. And you
Yeah.
never see anything Street Fighter.
Listen,
So
I had to go
um,
find Tekken because I was like, I bet I was like, no, there's probably a Tekken channel. I had to go and they were like, okay, let me go ahead and add Tekken because before
yeah.
like I was like, oh, there's people been in here talking. Didn't even know because if I don't literally select it, I don't see it at all.
Yes. So that brings up a good point. If you're in the server, please do us a favor and go to channels and roles, and you can check off and on what you are interested in. Because we've made tweaks to the server. So if you are one of the original people in there, and you selected your roles, if you haven't gone through and adjusted that since, you're not seeing stuff.
Yeah.
But if you join new, now we have everything set up. So when you join, you'll see those options. So you'll see Tekken when you join. But we didn't have Tekken originally.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, we were in that weird kind of phase where like Tekken 7 was kind of phasing out.
Mhm.
Tekken 8 was kind of coming in. Nobody was really. I mean, people were still playing it because the World Tour was happening and things
Yeah.
like that. But like, we knew the hype was coming for Tekken 8. So
And
we
Tekken's always
wanted to
been
get
kind
that
of
in there.
separate. Like this is the first, and we'll see if it stays like that. But this is the first Tekken, and I mean Tekken 7 came out almost a decade ago, so there's that too.
Yeah.
But this is the first Tekken that came out where there's like crossover appeal, and I see a lot of Street Fighter players, I see a lot of anime players, I see a lot of uh, you know uh, MK players and stuff like that
Yeah.
actually playing Tekken and like trying to play for real. Like I said, I've never like this might be the first time I've ever played with locals in Tekken outside of like playing skills or something
Yeah,
because he
like
had
playing
it.
the homies that you talk
Yeah,
to on a
because he
regular
had
basis.
it at the crib and I was at the crib and I was like, well, I know a couple combos, I'll jump on.
Yeah.
Or like let's just because I didn't want to be left out of the rotation, but that's it. But I have like 3 times this week been like, let me play. Bro. I haven't played Julius in a game ever.
I think I played him one time at a tournament. I don't even remember what the tournament was. It was down in Widefield, and it was like Game Source, and it was a Tekken tournament, and he happened to be there, and like we got paired up together.
Yeah, like this
And
is
I don't even play Tekken.
yeah. So like I want to say this is like I've known like of course known because he was all like he was the one who made the EFL forums. He's been around
Yeah.
forever. I think it's the
Yeah,
first
Julius is
game.
great, man.
Yeah, I think it's the first game we've ever played together after knowing all these years because I like Tekken has always been like its own. It's like we're part of Colorado, but it's always been there's the Tekken people and then there's the 2D people. And like Tekken, honestly, I don't even say there's Tekken. Soul Calibur is kind of weird too because Soul Calibur sometimes there's just like I play Soul Calibur, I don't play Tekken. Usually there's a little bit of
Yeah.
crossover. VF is kind of his own thing too, but like
Yeah,
the 3D 2D separation was always there. So to be like have this crossover appeal, have these cool characters, have games that simplified it a little bit with the throw with the there's no like 1-2 breaks now. It's like either it's a for the most part, throw breaks are simpler, combos are a little bit simpler, I think.
What's
Uh,
throw break now? Because it used to you had to guess 1, 2, or 3, 4, right?
yeah, you get to guess one. Yeah, before you had to guess like either it was like left throw, right throw, or 1+2
Yeah.
throw. And now it's now for the most part it's either a 1 break or a 1+2 break. There are some 2 only breaks. I think like King and a couple other
Of
people
course,
have
the
that.
grapplers make sense.
Yeah, but like for the most part it's either a 1 break or a 1+2 break, and you don't really have to look at the arms and like stuff like that. There are some of them that are like that, but for the majority of it is not like that. There's the
Yeah.
heat system where if you're like, oh, I'm just lost, press heat, bro. Like, oh, I'm just getting bodied. Just press it. Guess
Yeah, we'll have
it
to save
armors
that for
through. Like, yeah,
another conversation because I don't know. I haven't, like I said, I haven't deep dived into Tekken at all. So I would love to hear about Heat.
yeah. Let's
Because I see people are like Tekken 8's great. F the Heat system.
yeah. And hey, that's
So
Tekken play. Some I haven't seen that from some people, but some people are like, yeah. But I have seen some tweets like, man, this isn't the war. This isn't a war defense. I was like, I don't know about that. I don't care. All I know is I
yeah,
got a cool character and I'm learning some Tekken.
yeah, makes sense. Okay, I think like I said, we're gonna do this bi-weekly.
Okay.
Everybody, please come and join the server. That's what we're here for. We're here to help, and this is not just. We are literally open to everything. I know there are some people that are very FGC. Like I know Chris and I had a conversation where he was like, "Bro, I was thinking about it, and it was like, I don't really play games unless it's a fighting game."
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
For
And
the
I'm the
most part.
opposite. Like I play everything. Like I play fighting games. I love fighting games. They're near and dear to my heart. But I also play Overwatch and Resident Evil and all these other games and stuff because that's what I enjoy doing. So if you're looking for a place to not only play fighting games but also talk the shit about other things as well and not just video games, we even have sports and tech channels and all that other kind of fun stuff where we just really wanted to make an area where everybody felt welcome. Make sure you join us. We'll have all the info down below in the descriptor and stuff
Got a
like
pet
that.
channel
So,
and everything, y'all. Come
Yep.
come post your pets.
yep. If I could move my camera, you would see my cat sleeping. He's balled up and living his best life. So I think we'll wrap it up here. We'll probably drop this one on Tuesday, and then we look forward to having another conversation and seeing everybody for Community Night Thursday, and then not that next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. So every 2 weeks we'll drop it on Tuesday.
Word. You know what we gotta figure out is I mean, we got plenty of time because it's gonna be so goddamn long, but we gotta figure out like a little Capcom Cup watch party or something like that.
Oh yeah, we could definitely do that.
'Cause
Yeah,
it's-
that's already one thing that's on my list too. Is of course I want to address what we think is going to happen in season 2.
yeah.
Things of that nature. So we could definitely get a watch party together. I think that's a great idea. We could be in the battle hub, and then we could have somebody streaming it, and that
Ooh.
way if people wanted to watch it in the server while you're playing in the hub, everybody could be watching Capcom Cup together, and things of that nature. So
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, but it's coming, and then I know, yeah, playing's gonna be a good idea because there's gonna be a lot of Kid and Luke matches.
yeah, unfortunately, that's why the Lord of the Mains tournament that we're running is so great. Because bro, I get to go watch top 20. It's all a different character, and sure it may be Luke and Ken at the end or JP, but at least I didn't have to see nothing but JP's and Luke's.
Bro, because honestly, I'm like, how much of this am I gonna watch? There is no Kimberly's at all, and
Yep.
Shine already said he doesn't plan on going to Last Chance qualifier.
I saw Punk said that too, and I'm like,
That makes
$1 million, bro.
Like, I mean, it makes sense in this situation because bro, it's so long.
It's like 3 days, isn't it?
Yeah, LCQ is like 3 days, but the thing is, LCQ is like 3 days, but then Capcom Cup is like a week later.
Yeah.
And then that's a
Yeah.
5 day event. So if you're like, that's a lot of bread to be spending on a maybe because you can't. It's not. Let's be honest. If you win LCQ, it's not like you can't be like, okay, let me go ahead and extend my hotel room. You have to have that stuff ready, bro, because otherwise you about to pay a couple extra, like you guys pay extra 2 grand or whatever because now you found out that you qualified, but you're not flying home and then flying back. That's just
Right.
next. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest. So like,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I
that was
think that's a
dumb.
conversation we can have for the season 2 stuff because I know a lot of pros and stuff have been pretty vocal about how Capcom Cup was structured this year.
Hmm.
So that's definitely a topic we can. I think we'll do like a Street Fighter 6 overall outside of the game. So like, you know, not playing, but like what changes we hope to see in season 2, what changes we hope to see with our characters, where we sat with Capcom Cup, what we hope to see moving forward in the future. Because I will say the best thing about it, it kind of sounds like Capcom is more opening to the listening to the community
Hmm.
now than in past years. So
Definitely feels like that for sure. I do like that there's some, like, I understand people want changes, and the people I hear for the most part seeing want changes are going to be top players, but like I'm not necessarily worried about them because
yeah,
they're such a small segment of the community. Yeah, they're vocal, and yes, we watch them and we want to be good, but like you can't make decisions based solely on top players, so
yeah,
some of that's
yeah,
you gotta
solely.
ignore.
And that was Overwatch's problem. Like they were only adjusting characters based off of that top 5% of people. I'm like, bro, what about the other 95% of people
Yeah.
that play this game? Like,
So yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward, looking forward to Convo. I don't want to keep making this longer than it is. Gonna have to sure edit this a little bit anyway, just to get rid of random mistakes and everything. But
yeah,
yeah, definitely keep an eye on us on I don't know wherever you see this, subscribe and all that
yeah,
stuff.
for sure. It's gonna be on YouTube. That's where we're gonna post it, and then we'll share it out from there, and then we'll have all the community info. And like I said, we're always recruiting. We're trying to find new players. Thursday is our big night. For everybody, just it is super laid back and relaxed, and we have like multiple channels set up. So if you are playing somebody like Chris and he's whooping that ass, you could say, hey man, let's go jump down to this other channel so you could teach me some stuff. And that's what we're all here for, is because it comes